Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a spicy team for the Catch Cup. We're going to have a team here with the Shadow Feraligtr, but with Ice Fang. And I'm curious if this Pokemon is actually going to have some play here in the lead here for sure. Not right now because the Golisopod is a horrible matchup for you. But you have your own Golisopod. And in the back we're going to see some booms here today as well, because you have the Precious Blade variant of the Shadow Groudon. So this is going to be some fun. If you enjoy this type of content, feel free to leave a like and we can take a look here at how this gonna go. I don't know if Gligar are going to appreciate the Ice Fang, so hopefully we're going to see that soon as well. They actually let the move go through and they're gonna get the debuff onto the defense, so this is going to do an insane amount of damage. So let's take a look at this. Yeah, 2 Ice Fangs and down it goes. Again, I have not seen the battles or anything like this, so everything is kinda new for me here as well. So we see on how good this is going to be, but the opponent is gonna go down and they decide to forfeit here most likely with their Mandibuzz, because there's no way they can win this. Next opponent, we're going to have the Skeledirge, which they swap out immediately because they don't know that you're running Ice Fang, which does make quite a lot of sense. But you swapped out as well into the Golisopod, which is going to face another Golisopod. Quite a lot of Golisopod here around, but you can let the Liquidation go through. I'm not too, like there's no reason to go for Liquidation. Like either you go for the Exeter, which is neutral, or you go for the Arid Ace, which is super effective, but like you don't go for the resistant move. But I guess the opponent has like their own way of playing the game. But we're gonna see here the Liquidation coming through against the Skeledirge, and you might be able to align your Groudon later on. Good fast move timing by this player, as you will see the Liquidation going to connect, and we see the full Mud Shot down, which is going to be crucial, as now you should be able to reach a Precious Blade before the opponent can go for any kind of charge move. And so they're going to let the move go through and the Feraligatr goes down. I wonder if this is a matchup that he can now win. I think it is actually a matchup that he can win. That is hilarious. Okay, Ice Fang Feraligatr can win against the Magical Leaf variant of Victreebel. Very likely not against the Razor Leaf variant, but Magical Leaf has no chance here, which is quite hilarious, as we will see the Ice Beam coming through as well. Double ice coverage. The Gligar is going to use a shield here anyway, but you do so much damage, holy hell. Like, what the hell is this? We're going to see the Golisopod coming in next. You will be able to take one Aerial Ace, does around like 60% health, or it's going to be a Nightslash, so that's going to do even less. As we have some lag here, we're going to see the Incineroar coming in. Incineroar, I wish that this Pokemon would be better. Like, anybody who follows the main series games knows that Incineroar is basically the best Pokemon there. Like, of all Pokemon, which is kind of mad. So it's kind of sad that in Pokemon Go it is not really the case. But, or like, maybe it's not that sad to be fair. But you can go for the... Why do you go for Fire Punch here? I don't think this is really making too much sense, because Fire Punch is going to... Never mind, it's going to do enough damage. I don't know the damage output, I guess, of a Groudon against Incineroar, which I feel like is something that you don't see that often anyway. So, this would be a better matchup if you have Shadow Claw, but you swap out anyway. Oh, it's going to be the electric type fast move, what's called Thunder Fang, which is kind of interesting. So we will see the Liquidation coming through. We're going to be able to shield this one up. We will see here the swap into the Trevenant now, which is quite interesting. I actually didn't know that Trevenant was even really spawning, but maybe I missed an event, or it was just like a random spawn. But you can get to another crucial Aerial Ace, which is going to be very important for you. This is going to be able to get the final shit from the opponent now. Mud Shot variant of the Groudon looks kind of juicy, but you decide to go into your Feraligatr, letting the move go through. I like this play, because now you're gonna knock them out here anyway. But you should have swapped out here, by the way. There's no real reason to not swap out, as the opponent just got more energy. The fast move is resisted on the Groudon, and now you have to shield up Psychic Fang, so this was definitely a little bit of a misplay. Fire Punch is not going to do enough damage here, most likely, but it's gonna put them into farm down range, exactly. They have another Incineroar on the back, this time around with Double Kick. Doesn't matter, as the Precious Blade is going to find its target. Say goodbye to the Incineroar, and we will be able to win this game here. So, next opponent. Altaria in the lead. This is so great, and they will never see this coming. Look at their confusion there. Like, we're going to see the full farm down happening here against Altaria, which is quite wild. We see this guy attack going to be shielded up, and Heliolisk coming back in. This might be something where you want to swap into your Groudon now, and that's exactly what you're gonna do. Maybe even swapping out earlier would have been nice. Heliolisk is a little bit of a riskier one because Heliolisk can run the move Grass Knot, and this can be a little bit of an issue. So let's see if they're going to use a shield here. They decide to use a shield onto the Grass Knot, so that's a great play here. But they can still go for another charge move. I'm fairly certain this should be just the breaking swipe, and it is. And so you can overfarm by quite a bit and go for another charge move here, which is going to knock them out for sure. Maybe you can even go for another charge move with your Groudon. Yes, you can go for the... I don't know if it presses blade is going to do more damage here as it's double resistance while the other thing is neutral. I'm doubtful there, but it is what it is. We're going to see the Golisopod swapping in now. You can go for Liquidation. Maybe try to catch a move. You don't catch a move, which is also fine. But Liquidation is definitely going to be enough to knock them out. You're going to run low on health, but they swap out into the Altaria. You should be able to Shadow Claw them down. And so this is going to be game. Liquidation is going to knock them here, and this is going to be it for this one. Next opponent coming through, let's take a look at what they're going to run here. The opponent is going to have the Mandibuzz in the lead, which is kind of decent for them as well. By the way, I forgot to say that they went 11-4 with this team apparently, so that is kind of wild. Dark Pulse coming through, going to connect as we see the Hydro Cannon going to connect as well. Maybe Ice Beam would have been interesting as well. Is exactly I thought that they would. Most likely not going to go ahead and use a shield, but you can still align yourself, which is kind of cool for this team. I feel like alignment is kind of nice because you have two water type Pokemon. You have more like an ABA style line, but this Whimsicott is not going to enjoy the charge move coming up here. I doubt that they're going to use a shield. They do actually use a shield. That's kind of interesting. Okay, I thought they would most likely let the move go through. But Seed Bomb going to knock you out. You can go into the Golisopod, which can go for the super effective Aerial Ace straight away. This should not take the knockout yet because it's not like a strong move at all. And oh, never mind, it actually does knock them out now. And it's going to be a Groudon in the back, which is quite lovely because the opponent has to go for 2 Fire Punches to knock you out. One Presses Blade is not going to be enough. But what you can do is you can let the move go through and just finish them off with your own Groudon, which is quite hilarious. It is actually nearly enough. I just kind of underestimate the damage output of a Shadow Groudon apparently, but it doesn't really matter anyway. They can go for the Fire Punch here. It does not matter at all. They decide to go for that, like, yeah, and you can just go for the Presses Blade, knock them out and win this game. Moving on, we're going to encounter the Ninetales in the lead. They're most likely going to swap out, so you could stay in here, but actually they decide to stay in as well. And so you swap out into your Golisopod as they catch the charge move on their Mandibuzz. Doesn't really matter, it's the charge move you kind of want to go for anyway, so like there's no real harm in going for the Liquidation here. They're gonna be able to go for an Aerial Ace, which is not going to take you out yet, but another one will take you out for sure. And so, you're gonna put the opponent to a range where you can farm them down with the Ice Fang Feraligatr. You get the defense drop, which is nice because you actually can get to another Liquidation, which forces a shield from the opponent, and this or the knockout from the opponent, but I feel like you're still in a very tough spot, by the way, because the opponent has so much energy now on the Ninetales. I think you're going to most likely lose this one here. They just have like nearly 100 energy, and both of your Pokemon don't really want to face this thing, or they just go for the Overheat to completely overpredict. That would be also a way to go for the opponent. That made like no sense at all. Just go for the Weather Ball spam, and he would have been in a way better spot as the opponent, but we will take this. It definitely gives you at least a little bit of a chance, but I still doubt that you have any chance at all against the Mantine now, because Mantine also kind of breaks it here. You can still go for the Icy Beam. The Icy Beam. The Icy Beam is gonna get shielded, sadly, so that's kind of great. But yeah, this game is over, so yeah, good game there. It's going to be very likely a Water Pulse or an Ice Beam, both of which are going to knock you out, and so we can move on to the next opponent. Again, you can actually stay in here for a little bit, because I would expect that the opponent want to swap out. Exactly, like if you stayed in, you would have still had the Ice Fang against the Trevenant. Here, this is still a decent matchup for you, but like you could just predict that the opponent predicts that you have Shadow Claw, which is the normal way of doing that. So that's the thing as well. If you run like some kind of spicy moveset, you can just basically bait out something that you maybe did not really expect, or like that the opponent doesn't really want to have against you anyway. Not great fast move timing here, sadly. Throwing at, I think, 5, which is not really ideal there. So now the opponent can farm you down, but you can still go for an Aerial Ace. Maybe they didn't count. Maybe they still want to use a shield here. They do want to use a shield, which is kind of nice. And now I feel like you kind of forced to go into your Feraligatr just to soak up some damage, and you want to swap out ASAP, but I guess that is not happening here. I'm not too sure if this is the play. You try to catch the move here, which does not work out as well. If they have Hyper Beam, you're done. Like, literally, Hyper Beam is going to knock you out. The opponent has some lag there, apparently. They're gonna go for the foul play. You can still go ahead and go for the full farm now, which is going to secure the game, but it could have been way easier for you if you played a little bit differently, but it is what it is. You still win, and we can move on to the next opponent. Clodsire. Super effective fast move, I guess. Super effective fast move pressure. That is always kind of lovely. Look at the damage output of that thing. This is Sludge Bomb most likely, based on the fast. Yeah. Oh, it's a Water Pulse. Never mind. Yeah, Water Pulse is not the way on a Clodsire. Like, I don't know. Like, this is, I think, the first Clodsire that I've seen that is running Water Pulse. I don't even see the point of running this move. Like, what does it really hit? Like, you hit Ground type, Rock type Pokemon, which you don't really have too much of a weakness against. I guess like Ground type like would be kind of fine, but you still like the best Ground type here right now is most likely what, like Whiscash, which don't really care about because you're part Water type, or Steelix, where Earthquake would be super effective as well. So there's no reason for going for the Water type coverage on a Clodsire. Anyway, we're going to see here the Gligar. You might want to use a shield just to hit a liquidation. Exactly, shield coming up. And you can still hit this, which is kind of nice. It is not going to talk them out, most likely, based on what we saw prior. Exactly, the opponent can still survive. But this might be even a much short down range, which I maybe would go for just because it's hilarious. So let's see if the player is going to do this here as well. They do not. But we will see the swap out immediately anyway, and so you can use a shield here. Try to go for... Oh, you're going to no shield actually, the disarming voice, which is kind of smart. But the opponent can still farm you down, and so you are forced to go for another fast move to go for the Hydro Cannon. This is going to be it for this one. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the Mandibuzz in the lead, which is going to be a positive matchup now because you're running Ice Fang, and it is going to crush quite a lot of Pokemon here today, which is kind of cool to see. So at least something nice for the thumbnail as well. That's lovely. But yeah, I actually kind of want to put the Groudon on the thumbnail, but I saw it like so often recently on YouTube as well because yeah, Groudon is like one of the Pokemon I think that was caught this season, and so a lot of people have this thing, so I don't really want to make this. But yeah, I think the Ice Fang Feraligatr is a cool Pokemon to use. Definitely hilarious, but I feel like this player could have utilized it a little bit more in terms of predicting that the opponent would swap out in certain matchups in the lead because they expect Shadow Claw. But it is what it is. Here we're going to see the Liquidation coming through against the opponent's Sandslash. Is usually a good matchup for you because he resists all the charge move damage, but the fast move damage is still neutral, and they are running Aerial Ace, which is a coverage move that most people don't really know about even, but like this got added like I think 3 seasons ago or something on the Sandslash. Nobody ever used it because it's a garbage move, but I guess Aerial Ace is the way to go for the opponent. We will see the Crocodile coming in, and again, not ideal fast move timing I think, but you can go for the bait. You're forced to swap out here to try to go for a charge move as well. I thought just catching the move, but I guess he tried to go for a CMP tie now, which does work out perfectly. This was very well played, by the way. This was really, really well played because now we can go for the Presses Blade, knock them out, and win this game. Like, this was lovely. Like, honestly, well played here, and we can see that he can farm them down. And we can go to the final battle for today. Another Mandibuzz, another Ice Fang coming through here against the opponent. It's going to be a great matchup for you again. You cannot one move go through. And so we will see the Dark Pulse connecting here as they swap out into the Toxapex, go into the Groudon. Very slow on the swap, which is going to be annoying because now the opponent will be able to align themselves if they want to, unless you're going to bait and the opponent uses shields on it. But it's a very, very risky play. They decide to go for it. But yeah, if you swap out earlier, you actually outspeed the opponent to the charge move. But now I guess you're kind of going to be fine in the 2-shield scenario anyway. But yeah, it is a little bit of an annoying one because, like, yeah, if you swap out a little bit fast, you're going to be fine. This is silly. You could have just overfarmed by way more. Like, way more, and you would have had, like, a lot of energy now from the Mandibuzz. So, there was no real reason to go straight for the charge move. The opponent was energy dry. But you can at least let this move go through and align your Feraligatr. But again, like, you would have been able to mostly go for 2 Fire Punches if you just overfarmed a little bit more. In comes again the Victory Bell here against you. Oh, please connect. This would be hilarious. I don't think it does connect. It doesn't connect. But you're at least still going to have the Aerial Ace here. You can survive 1 Leaf Blade on this thing, but it is going to be a tough one for you to still win this one. You have to hope that Feraligatr can come in clutch. I think you're barely going to be able to farm them all the way down, especially if they go for Acid Spray for no particular reason. There is no reason to go for that. Just go for Leaf Blade and you would go down, but I guess it is what it is here. We're going to see that you still have a decent chance of winning this game. But the opponent, I think, made the right call in overfarming by a lot. And I think they have another Aerial Ace stored. But they decide to not go for it. And so we're gonna win the final battle. This is going to be it for today's video. Okay, like not today's video. There's going to be another one later on. So definitely stay tuned for this one. And I'll see you then. Bye bye.